Hey everybody, it's Chris with Out West with Chris, and today I wanted to do a review or an update, more of an update on my tent. You can see behind me, this is my Kodiak Canvas Tent. I've had this thing for 2 years now, over 2 years, and I've used it quite heavily. So this tent is actually my preferred method of camping. I love this tent. It's just a good solid tent. So I've used this tent in a lot of different environments. I use it for extended trips. When I go elk hunting, I am usually up in the mountains for 10 days or so, 9-10 days. And I've used it 2 years in a row for that. My brother-in-law and I sleep in the tent. And we have plenty of room for the two of us and tons of room to store gear. It works out really well. I've camped in this tent with my kids quite a bit. So the tent's really durable. It has held up excellent with heavy use. And I've stayed in this tent, I'm gonna estimate, I camp quite a bit, but I'm gonna estimate that I've spent either on my own or up in elk camp or with my kids camping somewhere near 40 nights in this tent. So that's some pretty good use. A lot of times if you got a family tent, you use it 2 or 3 times a year, so that's maybe 6 nights, 4 to 6 nights a year. Over the last 2 years and a few months, I've used this thing for about 40 nights. So this is it with the little canopy out. And, this canopy, it does collect water when it rains. This will kind of sag down. You can put, to get around that, you can put a stake or something up like that, right in here, and that'll help funnel the rain off, but the rain will funnel back here. If you do camp with this tent in the rain, you need to have this fly out. If you have it rolled up and secured in here like you would do if it was rolled up, the rain will actually collect in that roll, and it'll sit there and then seep in through the tent. That's the only time that I've ever had water get inside this tent. So hey, let's take a look inside. As you can see, there is a ton of room. It's one thing I like about this tent. It is big, it's heavy, but for car camping or for an extended outing, there's a ton of room. And this camera doesn't really do it justice, but look, there's just a ton of space. So I can fit myself, my kids, all of our gear in here without any problems whatsoever. The floor is a heavy duty vinyl, and there are no punctures in it. I haven't had a single, problem with the floor. I do have a couple of small holes in the canvas, which I'm gonna probably try to figure out if I can patch somehow. And these are my fault. That's when I've been staking the tent down and the canvas has overlapped it, the stake, and I've hit the hammer. That's the end result. So you want to be careful of that. Have a couple right there and then one over there too. So a little bit of water could get in there at some point. A few things that I really like about this tent are the doors on both sides, the full windows. There's a lot of built-in storage in the tent. Like down here you can store some stuff, or right here you can store stuff. The windows all roll up. Anything that rolls up has a way to store. And then I like this. I use this a lot to dry clothes out, but also to organize stuff. So like if I was camping, I might put tomorrow's clothes right here. When we go elk hunting, we put our wet clothes up here because we have a heater down here that helps dry it out. You also have this organizational deal that comes with it. And as you can see, my cot is huge. It's probably one of the bigger cots you can get, and there's just tons of room in here. So the tent is a 4-season tent. It can handle a small snow load. It can handle heavy winds. Super easy to set up. Just a great all-around tent. 2 years later, 40 nights later, I'm extremely happy with this purchase. It's a high dollar item. It's not a cheap tent at all. But I feel like, just proper care and maintenance, this tent's going to last me another 10-15 years. So very excited still that I own this tent, and I can highly recommend it to anybody who's looking for a tent for car camping or for, you know, elk camps, deer camps, that type of stuff, where you're going to be camped for an extended period of time. If you're a backpacker, this tent is not for you because it's huge, it's heavy, and yeah, you don't want to have to deal with that. But for everybody else, this is a good, solid option. In the description below, I'm going to link my original review, and I'll have a link to Amazon where you can get more info, and if you want to, you can purchase it. All of the purchases made through the links in my descriptions actually go to help the channel. I get a small little referral fee. It's nothing huge. It doesn't make your cost go up. It just helps the channel. Hey, if you have any other extra questions about the tent, specifics, I try to answer any question that I can in the comment section below. So I will do my best to answer it. Alright folks, that wraps it up. If you like what you see, please click the thumbs up button and subscribe. Thanks for getting out west with Chris.